6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, the home of Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. There they gave a dinner for him. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those at the table with him. Mary took a pound of costly perfume made of pure nard, anointed Jesus' feet, and wiped them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume, but Judas Iscariot, one of the disciples, the one who was about to betray Jesus, said, "Why has this perfume not been sold for 300 denarii and the money given to the poor?" Judas said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. He kept the common purse and used to steal what was put into it. Jesus said, "Leave her alone. She bought it so that she might keep it for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me." When the great crowd of the Jews learned that he was there, they came not only because of Jesus, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests planned to put Lazarus to death as well, since it was on account of him that many of the Jews were deserting and were believing in Jesus. The next day, the great crowd that had come to the festival heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem. So they took branches of palm trees and went out to meet him, shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel." Jesus found a young donkey and sat on it, as it is written, "Do not be afraid, daughter of Zion. Look, your king is coming, sitting on a donkey's colt." His disciples did not understand these things at first, but when Jesus was glorified, then they remembered that these things had been written of him and had been done to him. So the crowd that had been with him when he called Lazarus out of the tomb and raised him from the dead continued to testify. It was also because they heard that he had performed this sign that the crowd went to meet him. The Pharisees then said to one another, "You see, you can do nothing. Look, the world has gone after him." The king is coming. The people announced it. They filled the streets like the perfume filled the house the night before. "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel." The king is coming. The disciples remembered it. Zechariah 9:9, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter Jerusalem. Lo, your king comes to you. Triumphant and victorious is he, humble and riding on a donkey, a colt, the foal of a donkey." Hosanna! The king is coming, triumphant and victorious, riding into Jerusalem just like King Solomon so many centuries before, ending the dispute over who was the one true king. Jesus. Jesus is the King of Kings, greater than the Roman war machine, greater than the, quote, Pax Romana. With Jesus, it is eternal peace, wrong made right through humility and vulnerability and sacrifice. Eternal peace. Pax Eterna. Zechariah 9:10, "He will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall command peace to the nations. His dominion shall be from sea to sea, from the river to the ends of the earth." Pax Eterna. Pax omnibus. Hosanna! The King is coming, the anointed one, the Christ, anointed by Mary in gratitude and love for raising her brother Lazarus from death, anointed by Mary, blessed to reign as King forever, anointed by Mary, blessed to bear God's grace as high priest, anointed by Mary, a holy sacrifice, anointed for death. The last sacrifice ever needed. A sacrifice so great it overcomes all sin, all death, for all time. Hosanna. The King is coming, the King over death. Jesus raised Lazarus. A few days later, he laid down his life himself and took it up again. Hosanna. Save now. And he will raise us too. Jesus raised Lazarus. This is why so many go after him, for the miracle, for the spectacular, for the quick fix. How many will go after him when his work is small? When his work is slow? When his work includes our work? Our yes, our time, our prayer, our money, our hands. When the hungry come and Jesus says, you feed them. When the night of anguish comes and Jesus says, stay awake with me, watch and pray. When it's time to deny ourselves and to take up our cross and to follow him. Follow our King. Hosanna. The King is coming. They said the world has gone after him. Have you? Have you? Have you gone after him? Are you following him? Are you testifying about him? Are you trusting him? Are you serving him? The King is still coming. Our gracious King, our humble King, our King triumphant and victorious. Let's go after him.